Barack Obama was born on August 4th, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. At the age of 3, his parents divorced and his father moved away, never to be a major part of his life. However, this would not stop Obama from achieving greatness. Obama enrolled at the Punahou Academy, where he excelled in basketball. In 1979, he graduated with academic honors. In 1979, Obama attended Occidental College in Los Angeles, where he gave his first public speech on racial discrimination. 2 years later, he transferred to Columbia University, majoring in political science with a specialty in international relations, eventually graduating with a Bachelor of Arts. While his peers went on to high-paying jobs, Obama decided to devote his life to improving the lives of Americans. In 1985, Obama was hired as the director of the Developing Communities Project, where he facilitated the creation of a job training program, a college preparatory tutoring program, and a tenants' rights organization for impoverished citizens in Chicago. Entering Harvard Law School in 1988, he graduated in 3 years and returned to Chicago. There, Obama accepted a job teaching at the University of Chicago Law School, passing on his expertise in constitutional law to a new generation of thinkers. After 12 years, he decided to devote his life to politics and making a change in America. His first foray into the political arena came with his election into the Illinois State Senate. During his 9-year stay, he successfully gained support for legislation reforming ethics and healthcare laws, increased tax credits to low-income workers, negotiated welfare reform, and increased subsidies for childcare. Obama led the bipartisan passage of legislation to monitor racial profiling, and police representatives credit Obama in enacting death penalty reforms. He decided to run for the U.S. Senate, representing Illinois, and was elected in January 2005. Although Obama's time in the Senate was relatively brief, he still managed to have quite a busy career. Aiming at preventing the harm done to American troops, Obama introduced the Lugar-Obama Non-Proliferation Initiative, which gives money for the interception and destruction of weapons held by enemies of the United States. The initiative has since saved countless lives and continues to be one of Obama's great successes.
The Lugar-Obama Initiative will help other nations find and eliminate the type of conventional weapons that have been used against our soldiers in Iraq and South by terrorists around the world.
He was also determined to increase government transparency and give information to the American people, leading to the creation of the Coburn-Obama Transparency Act, which established a website breaking down all federal funds given to specific entities or organizations. It was then that Barack Obama decided to take his political career to the next level. On February 10, 2007, Barack Obama announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States. In the hard-fought race that followed, Obama narrowly defeated Senator Hillary Clinton for the Democratic Party's nomination. Accompanied by Delaware Senator Joe Biden as his running mate, he toured the country, filling Americans with inspiration with his speeches of change and hope.
Where we are met with cynicism and doubt, and fear, and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of the American people in 3 simple words: yes, we can.
On Election Day, voter turnout was astronomically high as a result of the charged political climate. An estimated 131.3 million votes were cast, with 52.9% going to Barack Obama, compared to 45.7% for Republican nominee John McCain. The final Electoral College count was 365 to 173 in Obama's favor. As the first African-American president in history entered the Oval Office, the American people waited eagerly to see the direction he would take the country in. Once in office, President Obama inherited the economic problems his predecessors had left behind. America was in the midst of its worst financial recession since the Great Depression. Millions of Americans were out of their jobs, houses were foreclosing at alarming rates, and the financial system was on the brink of collapse.
The success of our economy has always depended not just on the size of our gross domestic product, but on the reach of our prosperity, on the ability to extend opportunity to every willing heart, not out of charity, but because it is the surest route to our common good.
Obama decisively passed an economic stimulus package on February 17, 2009, appropriating $787 billion to help ease the country out of its economic troubles. The bill provided tax breaks and incentives, increased spending on healthcare, infrastructure, education, as well as giving many working class families some much needed spending money. When the automotive industry was in danger of collapse, Obama responded by renewing loans to General Motors and Chrysler and by providing the reorganization of GM, thereby saving a troubled industry and many jobs from destruction. After the first year since the passage of the stimulus package, the private sector was creating more jobs than it was losing, and the trend has continued, totaling to almost 3.7 million new jobs made in the private sector. The unemployment rate hovers at around 7.9%, the lowest it's been in recent years, which is largely a result of Obama's active economic policy. Obama also tackled healthcare reform. For years, politicians have promised to address concerns made about the healthcare system in the United States, but they have ultimately fallen short. Obama spent much of his first year in office pushing new reforms. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act called for the expansion of healthcare insurance, the capping of premium increases, and the allowance of people to retain their previous coverage when joining a new job. It would expand eligibility for Medicaid, subsidize insurance premiums for people making up to 400% of the federal poverty level, provide incentives for businesses to provide healthcare benefits, prohibit denial of coverage based on pre-existing conditions, set up health insurance exchange, and support medical research. Primary funding for these changes would come from new taxes on Medicare for high-income brackets, taxes on indoor tanning, cuts to the Medicare Advantage program, and taxes on medical devices and pharmaceutical companies. The Congressional Budget Office examined these laws and stated that an estimated $143 billion would be reduced from the federal deficit by the end of the first decade.
After a century of striving, after a year of debate, after a historic vote, healthcare reform is no longer an unmet promise. It is the law of the land.
On April 20th, 2010, a BP oil rig was destroyed in the Gulf of Mexico, causing a major oil leak. The leak caused billions of dollars of damage and destroyed much of the Gulf's wildlife as well as environment. Its tourist industry was harmed, as well as the economic livelihoods of local fishermen, all of which led to a public outcry and a demand for accountability. Obama reacted very decisively to the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, creating a bipartisan commission to review new safety procedures on May 22, 2010. He visited the Gulf in May and June with his cabinet, talking to those directly affected by the spill and providing hope to those dismayed by the economic and environmental consequences that would follow the tragedy.
As President of the United States, I'm going to spare no effort to respond to this crisis for as long as it continues, and we will spare no resources to clean up whatever damage it has caused.
With regards to foreign policy, Barack Obama has continued to be very successful. Keeping with his campaign promises, Obama began to withdraw troops in Iraq, the last of which left towards the end of 2011. Noting that problems continued to exist in Afghanistan, he deployed more troops until the political climate had stabilized. In Libya, Obama ordered the destruction of the Libyan government's air defense capabilities, leading to more protection for its civilians. The Nobel Committee recognized Obama's attempts to promote peace throughout the world and facilitate cooperation between various world powers, and awarded him with the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize.
I do not view it as a recognition of my own accomplishments, but rather an affirmation of American leadership on behalf of aspirations held by people in all nations.
On May 1, 2011, Obama approved a surgical raid of a compound in Pakistan believed to hold the elusive Osama bin Laden. The mission was successful, leading to the death of the terrorist leader responsible for the September 11 tragedy nearly 10 years earlier, and a sense of finality for U.S. citizens. America could rest in peace knowing that the man responsible for the greatest terrorist attack against the country was finally gone. Obama has changed our country for the better, and his re-election for the presidency in 2012 promises to keep America on its path to greatness.
This is a very green light. It's a really nice light, actually. It's pretty. There's two lights in here, and I don't know. It just looks nice.